communications, which is speaking professionally through communication. Speak with confidence, know your cause or your purpose, balance your personal and professional life, spend time talking to people in a professional setting, and write professional emails.
Very good.
Trying to transition this as smoothly as possible.
That's okay. You did good.
So next was digital tech, which is like your knowledge in the digital world, because I think any knowledge of how that stuff works is important because it's pretty much involved everywhere. Speaking to someone who knows more about it, like maybe someone who's taken a class, something like that. Take classes to develop skills. You know, I think I learned quite a bit in computer apps class that I found very helpful whenever it came to writing papers, stuff like that. And use what you already know. Like everyone, I think, already has a base knowledge.
Spend time with the technology that we have and adapt to it because most likely it will be the future. Read instructions and watch tutorials on YouTube to get to know things.
Next was career management, which is like how you manage things to get forward in your career, I think. So show that you care. Like if you're talking bad about your job while you're there, stuff like that, it's not going to look good on you, and that's going to ultimately affect how things go at your job. I'm sorry.
Be personal and professional with your employees.
Okay, so I think that means like whenever you're talking to an employee, kind of get down to them on a personal level and not just treat them like an item, if that makes sense. Like instead of just a piece in the puzzle, treat them like they're an actual person. Show up before everyone else to get ahead. So me personally, I always show up like 30 minutes before work because sometimes they're busy and they need an extra hand, so that's just something. Take leadership classes. So the only thing I can think of that would be a leadership class, an example is as a crew trainer, we have meetings every so often, and what you do in those meetings, we just talk about the proper way to correct someone, go over the procedures, stuff like that. Just knowing how to take a leadership role in the most effective way. Earn the respect you want. So if you want respect in the workplace, you have to give respect. And
But make sure that you have respect. If you don't have respect, then you don't need to work there. Like if somebody doesn't respect you, that's not okay. Just because you're a little worker bee doesn't mean you shouldn't be respected.
Agreed.
Talk to more experienced people. So if you're only spending time like with all the new people, you're not really gonna know. So like speak to the more experienced people, learn from them and their experiences and their time doing that. Yeah.
That's good. Any questions, thoughts, comments from you guys? Okay, so a thought occurs to me. I don't know if you guys have watched The Office, but you know the intern. You remember there's a scene where he doesn't want to be the something guy. You know, everybody's got a persona in the office. You know, this guy is the stapler guy, and this guy is the person that does this certain thing. So he didn't want to have a persona in the office. He wanted to just be a blank slate. That's kind of impossible, but it is important not to box yourself in, because if you have a negative persona inside of a work setting, that can spiral and be like a self-fulfilling prophecy. And negativity can become sort of your essential characteristic within your workplace. So fight against that. Always be positive. You can be the something guy, but make it a positive thing. Make it, you're the guy that's always smiling. What's a teacher that's always smiling?
Dan Mills.
Very good. I would have said the same thing. So be the Dan Mills. Don't be the resentful, hateful person.
Yeah, I definitely know a few people that come into work and you're not happy to see them, whereas other people come in and you think it's going to be a good night.
Yeah, you want your peers to appreciate working with you, not hate it. But that was just a thought that occurred to me. Other thoughts or comments you guys?
Okay, on career management, that's usually a tough one in terms of defining a little bit, because that's really individualized based on what your journey is and what you're trying to figure out. But once again, this is where you know yourself very well, that you can present yourself well in an interview setting. So a lot of those assessments we've been doing and knowing yourself and knowing your goals and where you want to be, that's what you look at in that particular area. How you manage that journey is that's what we're looking at. And what were the other ones you all had?
We also had digital tech and oral and written communications.
Okay, so let's go back to oral and written communications just a little bit. So what are some tangible things? They had a real good tangible one on there about writing professional emails. Speaking with confidence, how would you all actually do that in a tangible setting? What would you be doing to practice that? Presentations. What are some other things?
Making phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
That's
talking
good.
to people.
Smiling and dialing, as I call it. Yeah. Always put that smile on your face when you're on the phone.
You can practice with interviews.
Yes.
Very good. Even with your friends, you can have a professional and civil discourse. Sometimes conversations with friends can be serious and important. And when you get that moment, that's the time when you got to turn this on.
Learn to use nouns instead of filler words like things and stuff and stuff like that.
Avoid
If possible.
Or like.
Yeah,
Like is the worst, in my opinion. And in your generation, it's particularly ubiquitous. If you watch an interview with a teenager on the news, you will be shocked at the number of times they use the word like in a single paragraph. I'm talking like 10 times in a single few sentences.
It decreases the impact of what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, when you look at this, okay, so written communications, they had a very good one, practicing writing your professional emails. What are some other ways you can expand your writing skills?
Writing essays.
Mm-hmm.
write letters.
Mm-hmm.
Journaling.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a prospective author, if you ever intend to write, journaling is one of the number one ways you can practice that craft. And also it'll give you a really interesting thing to look back on in the years to come. All right. Good job, gang.